somebody that has been struggling with the downward spiral of not losing, when the scale goes up, you fall apart and you just can't stick with your goals, when something comes up in your world pertaining to your health and fitness, or really anything, you find yourself kind of repeating the same issues over and over and over again. I'm here to show you a framework that is scientifically proven to help you get out of that cycle. In fact, it works so well that eventually you'll be able to start predicting your own behaviors before it happens and stopping it so you don't go down that spiral. Pinky promise. With that being said, let's dive into what it is so we can help you get out of these loops now. All right, before we get into the process and steps, I need to make sure that you understand a little bit about how our mental works, how our mind works, so that you understand the process better, right? It's kind of like if I just told you what to do, that's great, but if you don't understand it fully, it's not going to really sink in. So in our mind, we have 3 layers of consciousness, right? Or 3 levels of our mind. First one is conscious thought. You talking to me right now, you and I are hopefully listening, and that's consciously you're doing this, okay? Subconsciously is stuff that you're thinking of that is operating now kind of behind the scenes. It says right here, like, this is like the hard drive of your mind. Behaviors and habits reside here. However, this part of your mind is programmed, and it's how you behave, okay? Program, which is the most important thing. And then unconscious is like your heart and your breath and things. Like right now, you didn't realize that you are breathing on your own. And now that you realize you're breathing on your own, you're now doing it consciously. You have to, right? If I don't breathe right now, I go, I'm running out of breath. But before then, you're doing it just fine. I know so because you were here just before then, okay? So this is important because this part here is programmable, meaning we can change it, which is very, very cool. And it's programmable in a positive and in a negative way. And positive as in gets us what we want, and negative as in gets us not what we want. And this is done through survival. As a good example, let's say I live in Arizona, and today I'm wearing a jacket because for me it's cold. And so if I were to go outside in July and see somebody in snow gear, I would find that interesting. Because my subconscious brain goes, it's hot. It's like 115. Why is this person in snow gear? Now, consciously, if you're not there, you'd be like, well, you're judging somebody for wearing. No. It's different. It's like seeing a polar bear in the desert. It's like, what are you doing here, dude? A penguin here. You're like, what is happening, right? Or vice versa. You see a snake in Antarctica. That's weird. They're warm-blooded. In Antarctica, it's cold, so they wouldn't move. Their metabolism would shut down. What are they doing there? That's odd. Same concept, right? And so because this is built on past experience, we also have different kind of trains that our brains go through. So another good example, subconsciously, you know, if you have a fork, you shouldn't stick it in an outlet. Why is this? Well, because if you've done it in the past, you recognize that there are, as my mom would say, bees in the outlet, and the bees will sting you if you stick stuff in it. And if you don't do that, or if you've ever done that before, you go, snap, there are bees in there, and you stick. And then if you do it again, because you're like, oh, like me, oh, the bees can't be there twice. Like, there's so many outlets. Why would they be there again? And sure enough, they are there again. You find out that it ain't bees. It's electricity, and it's always flowing. Okay? This, we obviously can't touch, but this is stuff we don't need to worry about anyway. But this part's the big part. Okay? And how we retrain this is through memory. Okay? Memory, short-term, long-term. Short-term, you're going to recognize today that I got a faux hawk and I got 2 big old zits here at the age of 32. Yep, still get them. Really annoying. Okay? Long-term memory. Implicit and explicit. Explicit, oh, look at episodic. Events that happen to you. Semantic. General knowledge of the world. You understanding English right now is through long-term memory, through the explicit memory, through semantic. Implicit would be like procedural, like sticking a thing in the outlet, like touching your hand on a hot thing. You like this and you immediately pull it away because you know, hey, I got to move that thing right away, okay, through reflex. Now, here's what happens. Here's what's been going on the last little bit. Let me zoom in a little. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Somebody has an episode. Something happens. Call it like a stimulus of some sort. And let's say the stimulus is one that we don't want. Scale went up. Dun, dun, dun. Problem. The thought then goes, I suck. That thought, or that feeling, I should say, feeling goes, I suck. I'm not good. I'm pitiful, whatever. It's a feeling, pitiful, despair, anger, rage, fear. Feelings lead to thoughts. And those thoughts go, no matter what I do, I can't lose the weight. I'm doing all the things I should be doing. I'm trying my hardest, yet the scale goes up. And that thought leads to an action. That action is, I'm not going to work as hard because no matter what I do, I can't lose. Do something drastic. I'm just going to eliminate all carbohydrates because that's what I've been told to do. Those carbohydrates, naughty, naughty. Okay. Become apathetic. Who cares anyway? I'm meant to be like this. So why even try? Push things off until a better time after the holidays, when kids get out of school, when kids get in school, after the play, before the play, like after season, before season, but after the project, before the project, like all the things. We just push it off because it's painful, right? Basically until the pain goes away because we forget. In our conscious mind, we forget, but not in our unconscious mind because it will remember. And how do I know this to be true? Well, when the scale goes up again, does this program not run over and over and over and over again? Yes or no? Yes, it does. And you don't do that on a whim. Our brains are incredibly smart. It goes, oh, I see a stimulus. I know the stimulus. I know if this was metal, I should not stick it in an outlet. I know this because if I do, it hurts. I know if there's a bee around, I probably shouldn't try to have it poke me. I know that I shouldn't run in traffic because I've seen a car accident and that's metal. I know these things, okay? And so how do we fix it? Well, before we fix it, let me here and dive into something that's going to be helpful. A mental model called the maps of consciousness. Okay, this is developed by David R. Hawkins. This is not me thing, but I love this mental map because it's so incredibly useful. Okay, so check this out. As we're running in that loop of stimulus, I suck, I'm terrible, apathy, grief, shame, whatever. We go from I suck, anger, to apathy. We go down. We go down this scale. And as you go down the scale, our ability to function and think gets smaller and smaller and smaller. How do I know this to be true? Well, if you're not losing weight and somebody then goes and binge eats, does that make any logical sense? No, especially when you're trying to lose weight. It makes no logical sense to do that. It makes no logical sense to binge eat when you're emotional too. Nothing logical, because does it fix the problem of your emotion? No. Is it solving it? No. Does it not feel worse after you're done? Yeah. So it's absolutely not solving your problem from a from a mental standpoint, but from a survival standpoint, from a standpoint of, at least temporarily makes me feel better. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. I can only think about this next minute. I can't even think about the long-term effects of what I'm doing, which is why people become apathetic and push things out and thinking there's tomorrow. We're not even promised the next 10 minutes. We could be hit by a comet right now and have no freaking idea, right? Then what? See what I'm saying? But some of you that are like, well, I don't have to deal with the problem anymore. It's because you're down here. And that's okay. Okay. But what we need to do is we need to introduce something else to the mix. We need to introduce reason. Understanding, meaningful, wise. Okay. Maybe even introduce acceptance. Something high. Above this line, we start, or I should say below this line, nothing makes sense logically. Nothing makes sense logically of our actions. This doesn't make any sense. That's why we do dumb stuff when we're angry, when we're sad, when we feel guilty, hide in shame. See the problem? So here's what we do instead. Okay. As you see this happening, all you got to do is do one thing. We have a stimulus. Scale went up. I suck. I'm not doing good. I got hurt. I got to push it out. There's no way. I have a big project to work. I have a big project to work. Cannot do fitness right now. Okay, so cool. All we do is introduce facts. How do we introduce facts? Not my facts, not my truth, not all that other bullshit. Reality. How can we introduce reality? You might be like, reality is subjective. Numbers ain't, dude. 2 + 2 is 4 every single time. Okay? I've never done a problem ever in my life where 2 + 2 does not equal 4. Okay? So the facts. Scale went up. Fact is, scale went up today. What are other facts surrounding around this thought of I suck that are true and that are not true? Well, here's some that are not true. If the inches went down, improving on my fitness, getting better sleep, clothes are fitting better, all in the last 30 days, and I've lost 12 pounds. Do my facts support my feelings? No. They don't. My facts do not support that I suck. My facts, in fact, support that I don't suck, that I'm doing well. And then you can go, if I don't really suck, what could have caused the scale to go up? Is it something I could have done yesterday? Did I do all the things that I need to make the scale go down? Hit my targets, get sleep, drink water, exercise, do my steps. Did I do that? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Okay. Sodium content, stress, sleep. I guess I already said that. Menstrual cycle, sickness, soreness. Are any of those playing a factor right now? Yeah, they are. Okay, which one? Hey, maybe a woman and I have my menstrual cycle. Hey, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Maybe it's like, well, I'm a dude and that doesn't make any sense for me. I'm like, hey, freaking science. What do you know? It's freaking crazy. Okay. Well, in hitting your targets, did you eat something that causes inflammation for you? Yeah, I did. I had some whey protein yesterday. For me, whey protein causes inflammation. I literally get bubble guts as soon as I'm done drinking it. And would it stand to reason, Your Honor, that even hit your targets, and our goal is to lose 500 calories per day, which results in about 55 grams of weight, which is approximately all of this, about this much fat per day. Would it stand to reason that I could have gained more water from inflammation than this? Is it possible? Because you can retain, I've had people lose 8 pounds in a week, which means you can retain up to 8 pounds of water. Is it stand to reason you could do that versus, I don't know, half of this container? Actually, it's half of this. Yes, it could stand to reason. Okay, makes sense. So what are my actions then based off of the reality that I don't suck? Well, I'm going to keep on going. I might need to review how weight loss is different from fat loss. I need to get rid of foods that are causing inflammation for me. I might need to drink more water. I might need to exercise today. So do you see the difference here between these two? Is on this one, scale went up. I suck. Thought, action. There is no facts to substantiate your claim. None. And so if you don't have facts to substantiate your claim, you are basing your problem in what you perceive to be real versus what is real, what is happening, what could be possible. How often do you get in trouble for perceiving what's real versus what actually is happening? I do. I've gotten in trouble for that. It's disagreements with my wife, issues with the client, family drama. Hey, I heard XYZ is going on. What the hell's up with that? Why would you do that? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is what happened. And they're like, no, it's not. Here's the receipts. And I'm like, well, shoot. You're right. It's me being rude. Oh my gosh. My fault. I'm sorry. You see how we get when we're above here, you only get to live down here because there's no reason. There's no factual evidence to support what you're actually saying. You're just blabbering stuff. This is like the people that go, I don't know, there's no way possible there could be a God. And I'm like, okay, so nothing came from nothing. You just magically, out of nowhere, poof, nothing. And nothing created everything. So 0 plus 0 times all the world. It's because nothing, something came from nothing. That nothing would have to create something. But if there is nothing, nothing could. You see what I'm saying? See how it's weird? See how it's just like logically doesn't make any freaking sense? Makes perfect sense down here. 100% sense. It's like, oh my gosh. And this doesn't, by the way, mean that you're not smart. People could be smart down here. There's just no reason. There's no like real logic behind it. There's no like oomph. There's no substance. It's kind of like just blabbering stuff. So how do we fix it? Scale went up. I suck. You need to have your facts substantiate your feelings. You cannot have your feelings make up your facts. It's also feelings make up your facts. You need to have facts, real facts, substantiate your feelings. And you lay them out like a deck of cards on your table. And you go, okay, I think this is what is actually happening. Are they in alignment? Because the problem we run into is this is alignment. You're in 100% alignment here, which is why people sit here. It makes logical sense in this pattern. There's just no logic behind it. Whereas when you introduce the logic into the mix, it's a really streamlined process. To go from feeling like scale went up and being that you suck, and the end result being you do nothing about it because you're stuck no matter what, you're trying your hardest. Or you go, hey, I actually don't suck. I'm actually doing well. Or better yet, if the thought is, hey, I suck, I'm trying my hardest, what are the facts surrounding that thought? How do you know that's true? Are you tracking all your food? Do you understand how nutrition works? Do you understand how fitness works? Do you understand how fat loss works? Do you know how much you should be eating? Do you know how to plan your meals? Do you know how to prep your meals? Do you know how to properly track your meals? If any of those are no, then you could be trying your hardest. You just don't know what you're doing. So the action would be learn, right? And if you're somebody struggling with that, trying to understand how this whole fat loss thing works, dude, subscribe to here. Hit me up on Instagram. Find me on TikTok. I got a bunch of information that I just give away for free to learn and understand how this game works so you don't have to feel stuck, so you can feel empowered. And if you would like a streamlined process and coaching to help you get there without you having to do the trial and error or spending the hours and hours and hours of time watching all the videos, that's cool too. All you got to do is go to bodyfathacks.com/breakthrough. You click the link in the description below. And from there, you and I can have a conversation about what you need to be successful. And so instead of you going delineating all the information, which you absolutely can and totally could, and there's no pressure to have you join the program, but if you want a streamlined process because you're short on time and have an abundance of money, not like you have to be Mr. or Mrs. Moneybags, but you get what I'm saying. If you don't got an hour and a half a day studying this stuff, you might as well get a coach who can do it for you so you don't have to spend as much time. With that being said, have a freaking awesome day. Kick some butt, take some names. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.